Welcome everyone back to Mr. Weather Updates. Today we'll look at my radar, look at the UKV, we'll have a look at the temperatures for the next 5 days, then we'll have a look at the temperatures as well, look at the GFS, ECM, and the UKV for the next 1 weeks. So thank you very much, and please watch this video. So if you look at the night weather radar, you can see there's a lot of rain actually, quite persistent and heavy rain in northwestern Scotland. Again, there's some heavy pulses, especially on the hills, so that's the Highlands areas, it's quite wet there, could even have some localised flooding at times. Unfortunately, not much rain for the rest of England, or southern and central England either. So still in this dry theme for now in England, and that will continue into the week. If you have a look at the UKV, we'll look at the precipitation for the next couple of days, which unfortunately won't be much. Not much showers around really on the radar, so that's kind of wrong. Otherwise, still going to be variable cloud around, could be a bit, but some sunny intervals are definitely likely, especially as we move in throughout the day. We're still persistent rain in Scotland. As we head into Saturday, a bit more cloud in the morning, burns off a little bit there, being another one of the settled and dry day for many of us in England. However, in Scotland, we're still hanging on to some persistent rain at times, especially in the Highlands, and that's going to persist throughout Sunday as well. But as we get into Sunday, a little bit more unsettled, a weakening cold front moves in, bringing patchy rain and drizzle, but then that moves up quite quickly into Monday, where it gets a little bit better in terms of weather, in Scotland especially. And it's quite clear throughout the day on Tuesday. So very clear conditions, not much cloud at all. And and into the morning of Wednesday, some clouds and rain possible in the far northwest, Scotland and Ireland, but still going to stay largely dry in England. If you look at the temperatures, obviously we are on a bit of a warming trend, so you'll notice the temperatures slowly increasing once again, like we've been seeing for the last couple of weeks. So obviously, enjoy the fresh weather as you can, because it's going to get a lot hotter. Please don't need to stand up. So you can see here, in northwestern Scotland, we're still quite cool actually. Low to mid-teens, could even squeak at 19 degrees in the far northeast, that's Aberdeenshire, where they're away from the rain. And that's for today, of course. Otherwise, rest of areas in England, we're widely in the high teens, low 20s, possibly the mid 20s in southern areas. 25 Celsius is likely in London area. As we go into, let's have a look. As we go over to tomorrow, so that's Saturday, get a gradual increase in the temperature, especially in the southeast. But still, Scotland holding on to the cooler, more unsettled air for now. Still low to mid-teens, still could see 18 or 19 degrees in the far east. Northern England can actually go into the low to mid-20s, perhaps even high 20s in some areas in northeastern England. 27 degrees in East Yorkshire. And then over to central and southern areas, we're in the widely mid to high 20s. So definitely going back to heatwave thresholds. So Greater London area could see 28, possibly even a 29 Celsius. So it's definitely starting to get up again. And as we go over to Sunday, you can see then temperatures rising even further. You can see, still Scotland are still hanging on to the cooler air. Still low to mid 20. Yeah, still low to mid teens. Still could get an 18 degrees in the far east in Scotland, but very restrictive at the moment. Especially with this one. And yeah, so it's quite restrictive in general in that sort of area. And otherwise, northern areas a little bit cooler actually due to that cold front. But still high teens, low 20s, possibly still in the mid 20s in some areas. Otherwise, central and southern areas, we're getting back up into the low 30s once again. 31, possibly even 32 Celsius is likely on Sunday, and probably the hottest day as well throughout the week. As we do get into Monday, though, we actually start to cool down a little bit for southeastern areas due to that cold front. So, but after that is unfortunately going to start to warm up again. a bit of a lull there before obviously get a little bit more heat wave conditions. Scotland, a little bit warmer in some areas, widely low to mid-teens, but more likely seeing 18 degrees. Northern England, high teens, low 20s, and then southern areas, still a little bit above average, 26, 27, maybe even a nice 28 Celsius is still likely. Still feeling a bit warm there. Tuesday, you can see, definitely looking a little bit warmer for men. All of us, actually, even in northern areas. Even in Scotland, temperatures does start to rise a little bit. So this time in the high teens, low 20s. You can see 23 Celsius in Glasgow. So quite warm there. And then northwestern areas, northern areas, we're in the low to mid 20s. Could see 26 Celsius in northern England. And rest of the areas, central southern areas, especially central areas, it could be in the high 20s, so 28, 29 Celsius is likely on Tuesday. And probably going to see the peak on Wednesday as well. If you look at the GFS, you can see we've got a big string of high pressure moving in, bringing some warm spells at times for the weekend. And obviously more Atlantic interruptions possible from the north. Then that high pressure builds in again, bringing some quite hot continental air throughout the week, and it doesn't go until perhaps the end of the week, where we can see low pressures tracking northwesterly and pushing that high pressure out, bringing a northwesterly regime. Could even have a bit of a quite intensely low in the northwest. Could supply some gusty winds at times, so north to northwesterly wind is likely in that time frame. If we had to turn it on, that's definitely a strong area of low pressure. ECMWF, again, we've got high pressure building in for the weekend, and that weakens a little bit due to low pressure to the north. Then that builds in again, bringing south to southwesterly wind, bringing some hot air at times, and we've got some low pressure systems dancing to the northwest of the UK at times. If we have a look at the temperatures at 38 on the 12th, where it's supposed to be the hottest day of this heat wave-ish, there we go. In that area, anyway, we could see temperatures at 838 HPA widely into the low to mid-teens, possibly the high teens. So 17 to 18 degrees, that would be around 27 to 32 degrees, possibly even higher than that in the far south. And then as we go throughout that week, it does start to we start to get a gradual decline in upper air temperatures. You can make your run again, low pressure, high pressure to the north, high pressure builds in slightly into the weekend, a bit of a transient ridge there, low pressure to the north then interrupting it, and then we get more of a high pressure system, a bit of a blocking high pressure to the south, bringing a southerly wind and a lot of a warmer direction as well throughout that week's and it could persist throughout the week anyway. It's about a 3-day period. So yeah, there is a sign of a heat wave that will be affecting most of areas. Even in northern England could see this heat wave before it could change a little bit more changeable with low pressures to the northwest. So thank you very much.